Right everyone, good evening. I'm going to say good evening because it's 9:15 at night. And look at that sunset going just down over the horizon there. I just thought I was going to do this really early tomorrow morning, but I have a very full day tomorrow, so I know I'm not going to get a chance. Hang on, let me unlock the door for my son. He's coming back in. Right, let's have a look around. What I've been doing. Okay, I watered a bit today, only around the fruit and vegetables, just because I needed to give them a feed. And look, there is a slug right by my kale. I shall leave him there. Nature do its bit, it's got a job to do. But the forget-me-nots are going to seed. So hopefully soon we'll see some goldfinch coming for them in the garden. The roses are about to flower. Can't wait for those, that's my favourite rose ever. The chives, beautiful, lovely purple rose on there. Foxglove starting to get flowers coming. This is already for summer, this is where we have the most flowers actually. And my muskmallow, everything is looking alright. There doesn't seem to be any fruit on the jostaberry up front at the moment. Birds have been in. I have never seen that many house sparrows in the front garden as I have in the last week. There's just loads of them. That's lovely to see. And I also sat and watched this afternoon as a house sparrow was flitting in between all the branches on the other rows and eating all the aphids. So yeah, don't spray the aphids, just let the birds eat them. Don't mind if we lose a few of the leaves and a couple of buds, that, you know, we still get plenty of flowers. There is some stink bugs on the stalk of that bok choy over there. You can't see it from there. And they're also good pest control, so it must mean there's a healthy garden going on here. What are in here? Little beetles. Look at that. Can you see it? And little beetles in the flowers. Not much of a perfume left anymore because they're going to seed. So I shall definitely save the seed from that. And I'll try some microgreens. There's millions of seeds coming on this. As soon as they're ripe, I'm going to harvest them, and some I'll stratify ready for next growing season. Well, I'll start some off now actually. I've got some starting in the back, and they'll overwinter, and next year give me more flowers again. Strawberries, as you can see, absolutely lovely. Getting some pretty flowers on there, and they promise some fruit. That's if the slugs don't get them first. But there aren't too many slugs. I mean, the sun's already going down, and I don't see a huge amount of slugs in here at the moment. I mean, there's evidence of them having been there, but yeah, the aronia berry plant. Lots of lovely flowers on there. That one not as many, it's a younger plant, but it's getting there. There are some flowers there. First time this clary sage has got this big, and I've had it for three years already, and it was struggling to get going. And even though, as you can see, it's been munched by the slugs, the other one even worse, but it's survived and it's growing. Hopefully we'll get some flowers off that soon. My lemon balm, I've already picked some lemon balm to dry for tea, and I made some fresh tea yesterday with some of my dried mint, so a mint and lemon balm tea. And apparently they're of the same family, mint and lemon balm, so explains why they went together so really lovely. That rose is growing, it's alright, but I think it's struggling a bit there. I don't know why, but it'll be alright, it'll get going eventually. So that's the front garden. I didn't need to do much at all. I do need to harvest some of that rhubarb because the older leaves are flopping over and getting a bit, you know, untidy. So I'll just pull them off and I'll leave them under the hydrangea, which is starting to get buds on, flower buds. So that will be a big explosion of lovely big blooms soon. And that'll look lovely too. And the Aquilegia, this one seems to have a double flower, and look at that, isn't that just so pretty? That is absolutely gorgeous. I thought I've grown these for years, and I always thought that they were the single flowers, but this year they've come up as doubles for some reason. There's some aphids on there, but I'm not doing anything. Gonna leave nature to it. Let us see what happens. Okay, we're gonna go in the back garden, which is slightly darker than the front because the back garden is the southeast facing part of the garden. Lock the door again. Yeah, have to lock the door. Silly reasons, but let's just leave it at that. Okay, craft work going on in the lounge still. Finally got to clean the kitchen today. Oh, garden. Right, look at these. These are my broccoli, Nero, kale, the lettuces are doing fine, coriander, everything's doing fine except for some of the seeds that I sprouted in the jars. It took them forever to sprout because they're old seed, and I've put them in soil because they had roots on them, but they seem to be struggling to do anything, and it gets really warm under here in the day. So yeah, corn is growing. I'd have liked it to be much bigger than that by now so I can get it in the ground, but we'll see. My nasturtiums have not sprouted, and they were new seed, and this is more than a week later and there's no sprouting yet, so I'm a bit worried about that one. Everything else is okay. I've sown loads of seeds after more than a week of struggling to sprout the poached egg flowers, the limnanthes. Nothing was happening, and now suddenly they're sprouting nicely, so I hope we get loads of them. They're excellent to plant around raspberries as a help to prevent raspberry mold. Oh, my poinsettia is struggling a little bit here, but it's not dry, it's wet. Loads of seeds waiting to sprout. Yeah, oh look, tomato seeds finally sprouted, but I think at this late time of the season they should have already been well enough on their way in pots ready. Quite a few inches tall. They are. Ah, that one. The transplanted Jerusalem artichokes have been suffering a bit. They don't like being messed with once they start growing, but I was determined to put them in pots rather than in the ground because they were in there last year and they sprouted outside of these things, and I couldn't have them growing in there because I wouldn't have been able to harvest them, and they'd be like way up to the bathroom window like last year. So now I've moved them. If they survive, they survive. If not, they don't. In this garden, if it doesn't survive, it doesn't belong here. Everything's looking a little bit yellow actually, like even my chives. That's why I gave everything a good feed today. Especially the pots, because I've got a lot of things in pots, they dry out quicker in the dry weather. So I've given them a good feed today and watering. You can see on these leaves all curled up, that means there's been aphids. And the ants don't actually eat the aphids, they just feed off the nectar that comes off the aphids. There, come on there. And the ants, it's like a symbiotic relationship. Really, the ants just feed off them, they don't actually kill or eat them. Very clever relationship, but that means the ants aren't really helping us to get rid of them, but never mind. The aphids are feeding the ants. And because of the ants, we have a lot of aerated soil instead of completely compacted, because they bore under. Hazel, oh look, a tiny little hazel flower coming up there. I wonder if that means we're going to get nuts. Oh, there's quite a few flowers. Oh, and some little white fly type things as well. Again, we'll leave nature to sort that out. Some apples on the apple tree. I'll have to thin them out a little actually. I always hate thinning out because I like to see more fruit. But, you know, if you don't, they don't put all the energy into ripening the fruits that you want. It's fine if I've got a whole orchard full of apple trees and I could just leave them do what they want and be happy with smaller apples. And naturally they'll thin themselves out anyway, because the strongest ones would naturally survive. So I could just leave them, I suppose. Look at all those black currants coming there. I am waiting to see if the birds are going to strip the plants and eat them all up. That kale gone to seed. I had a nibble of some of the flowers this morning. Perfumed as well. Oh, see, this apple leaves has also got some double flowers. Different to the ones in the front, but look at that. That's really pretty. Love them. They were just starting to open yesterday, and today they've flowered nicely. The warm weather has helped. Cut the lawn today, and I hope that the weather's going to be alright on Saturday because I need to cut this hedge. And this is how far out. I mean, that's a good more than a foot of growth that needs to come off. If I had hand shears, I'd have done it by hand, but I don't, so I've got to use the electric one. And I didn't see any birds coming in here to nest because they all go up there to that hedge, the privet hedge, to nest. So, oh, more fruit coming there. Let's hope that nature sorts that out and lets the strongest ones survive. Not much else to say today except that everything, look at this buglia, a bit yellow. So everything needed a bit of a feed. I think it's because we had so much rain last month that helped just to wash out quite a lot of the nutrients, and because it's been really warm as well on the dry days, that it's made the pot suffer a bit. So I would prefer to have all the plants in the ground, but it's just not practical. So for now they've got to stay in there. Look at this little oak sapling, just looking beautiful. And the other two also tiny, and those were just grown from acorns that had fallen into the beds at the allotment, and I brought them home. So I've got 3 oaks. Sounds like a pub. Pond looking a bit yucky. I need to get some straw in there to clean up some of that algae. Comfrey's growing nicely, so I'll be able to chop and drop that in a bit, but first I want it to flower so that the birds and the bees can get some nectar out of there. Yeah, my plant food growing right by the cherry tree. Not very many cherries on there this year. We had plenty of blossom, but I think that last wind that we had knocked everything off. There's some cherries, look, but I know that the birds will have them. They do every year. They strip everything. Last year I had 3 cherries off the entire tree. We'll see, and I need to chop it down to a manageable height. I'll only let them grow as high as I can reach. Don't you dare climb over my beds, missy. Dog. Climbing over my beds. Yeah. Right, these, as you can see, those black currants, they were also suffering a bit. So I watered and fed them. Made sure there was more water in the top of that lid there for the birds to bath in, because they were looking for water today. Yeah, everything's looking alright. It's nice and peaceful and quiet now. Nice time of the day. Look, the blueberries have got flowers on as well. Everything's full of life and promise. Even this mystery plant that I'm sure is an apricot. I'll have to grow another one and hope that they're opposites and can fertilize each other. I doubt very much it's self-fertile. That was amazing. I'm just so pleased with that. We'll soon find out what it is. A couple more years. I think the sage is starting to flower. Don't want that to happen yet. I want it to bush out a bit more, so I'll just pinch that out. I did with some of the others, because this is quite an old sage already. It's already 4-5 years old, so it's on its last legs. I should go get another one. What it was one of those you buy from the supermarket, and it's lasted very well. It made a huge big bush at the allotment, but since coming home now it's struggling. Oh, there's my Hutunia. Yeah, survived nicely, and I'm surprised at the Sagittaria because, oh, little bits of seed on there, because I didn't overwinter them out of the soil. I left them in. Usually they don't like that happening because it's too cold here. Usually you have to take them out and treat them a bit like some people treat their dahlias, overwinter them and keep them protected, but I left them in and a lot of them have come back. So duck potatoes are still growing, so I'm quite surprised at that and happy, not complaining. Ooh, what you grumping about, Buttons? Yeah, that's about it, except for that the blackbirds are still pulling out tufts of the cocoa fibre from my baskets, so I surely should get them filled. I was able to spend an hour or so, maybe a little bit more, at the school garden today. So, and the garden project for the school is still happening, still going on, and I'm enjoying that. It's coming along nicely. I need to put some pictures up on Facebook actually, so you can see how far we've got with that. There's a couple of parents who've been helping. There's a mess on this table, it's all the craft work. Oh, tiring. But it's been such a lovely, beautiful day today. Even after spending some time at the school garden, I thought, no, I'm going to get something to the garden at home as well and do some there. And then I was able to clean the kitchen again, and I found some space for jars. So I think a very productive day, and I still did a couple of more things and got a little bit shopping as well. So yeah, not a bad day. Got quite a bit done. And right now I'm going to close the curtains, turn the lights on and get painting more crafts, because tomorrow I'm at the craft shop all day doing my voluntary day, and yeah, that'll be a very long day. I'm supposed to be doing a demo as well and showing people how to whittle these little hanging wizardy Santa heads. So I better go and find it before it gets dark. Actually, there's no light in the shed. I better go get the whittling knives. So that's it for an update. I hope I'll be able to do something a little bit more interesting. These tours around the garden and that are getting a bit boring for me actually. I'd like to do something a bit more. So we'll see what happens. I've been thinking about a lot, and there's a couple of directions. I need to think about my purpose and my goal. Up to now, this has just been a kind of catch-up diary for me to see how far we've got. So, yeah. I need a new direction. I need to focus and get a plan, if you like. I mean, most people don't. It's usually quite organic, but yeah, I need to figure out where I'm going with this. So I'll catch up with you all again soon. Bye-bye.